Hello everyone, it's Miriam here. Welcome to my craft room, Paper Wheel Studio. I have you now with me at my craft desk, and today I just want to go over some essential tools that I use when I'm crafting. Just keeping in mind that because I have a form of muscular dystrophy, I have decreased arm strength, and I mentioned that in my videos before. So today I want to show you some tools that work well for people who have weakness or not a lot of arm strength to use tools. You might have trouble with your grip because of arthritis or just any number of conditions, and it may just be that you're getting older like I am. So I brought you along, and we're going to take a look at these tools on my desk, and I'm going to show you how they, and explain to you how they work for me. The essential tools, obviously, for crafting are paper, scissors, glues, which I have multiples here that we'll talk about a little separately, and a ruler. So if you have scissors, a ruler, and some glue, you can get started, and you can pretty much do a lot of things just with those three simple tools. If you want to add on to them, there are additional tools that I will show you. But let's talk about these basics to get started here. These are the scissors that I use. They are, I believe, Scotch brand scissors. I've tried multiple different kinds of scissors, and I needed some that have the nice rubber grips, which these do. And they can be easily opened and closed. No sticking in the center here, not hard to press, and I can easily open them back up. I've tried the kind that have just the spring load, and I need something to keep my hands on the scissors when I'm using them. So I use these for all my main cutting. And then I have a tiny little pair by We Are Memory Keepers, I believe they are. And these are my fussy cut scissors where I can get into the little stuff. Again, I've got good grippers on them, and they are very easy to open and close. So those are my scissors that I use. My ruler that I use is in centimeters, not inches, but I have inches on my mats that I can use that. And this is a heavy-duty ruler. It's got a little grippy rubberized on the back. It makes it quite nice when you're tearing papers, and you'll see me do that here in just a few minutes. I will show you how I use this to tear papers. It's nice enough that I can lay my entire hand down on it and use the weight of my arm and my hand to hold the ruler in place rather than trying to hold it, thread my fingers and hold it with just fingers. I can put my whole hand down and really give it some force so I know it will hold the paper down and I can tear easily. So I'm just going to lay that to the side. I have some things I'm going to cover here to test out the glues, so we'll be using that at that point. I also have I have a mini scoreboard. I've just put a line down through it, and I have a score tool that I use with it, and I have tape. I have a hard time holding papers down, as I explained, so I use this washi tape, which is very low tack, sticky tape. You could use masking tape, any kind of low tack tape, reusable tape, something that's going to hold that paper in place so that when you are using the scoreboard, you just don't have your fingers are the only thing holding that paper so you can score it. You could also score using just your ruler and press down really hard with a score tool. Again, it requires strength to press down hard, so it really just depends on what your abilities are as to what would work best for scoring for you. I like that this is little compact. I can easily pick it up, move it out of my way, and there we go. I use a little cutter. This is the Tim Holtz Tonic mini cutter. It only goes over to, I think, 4 inches by 6 inches. So if you're cutting larger papers, obviously you need a different cutter. And I usually have somebody help me do that if I'm cutting anything bigger than will fit on my little trimmer. Okay. And lastly, the glues. I want to show you several different things, and as I'm showing them to you, I'm going to cover some things that I have over here to the side. Just some neutral copy dyed cardstock pieces that I thought I could cover with some digital things that I have here. So we'll start with this one up here on top. I wanted to preserve this cat picture, so I'm going to try tearing down this paper. Sometimes I'm good at it and other times not so much. So let's just see what happens today. Holding that down. I'm going to give my paper a nice fold. Hopefully it'll tear out. Okay. Then put my ruler right up against that fold. Usually once you get it started, it's a lot easier to tear paper. But for me, it's much easier tearing it than to cut it on a trimmer. See, once I got started, it's not too difficult. So I'm just kind of putting this down to the size that I need. Again, I don't care if it tears a little crooked because I'm just trying to put down the size. Put it down to size, I should say. And I'm going to get that back on the right tear line here. There we go. One little mess up, but that's okay. I think it'll still fit on the index card without any problem. It's just the coffee dyed index card that I have here that I was going to put this on. And I don't want to go clear to the edge, so I'm only going to put it to right there. And I'm going to show you the first thing I want to show you as far as glues are concerned are glue sticks. They're good things to put down when you want to cover something, though I prefer to use my do-all glue, which I will show you here shortly. But let's just try. I've got two different glue sticks here. This one is a monster glue stick. Look how large this baby is. It is 4.05 ounces. To give you some idea, this is a regular glue stick. Look at the difference in sizes. I thought I'd get this and try it. I thought, oh wow, this will be great. It puts down a lot more glue at one time. It's not as easy for me to use as I thought it would be, in all honesty, because it takes more of a grip. It's a larger and it puts a little bit of weight on my hand, and it does wear my hand out a little more frequently than the smaller ones would. So we're going to do it with this Aleene's. It's an Aleene's permanent industrial strength glue stick. The only drawback to this is that it is small, and you go through them very, very quickly. What I do like about it is that it puts down a little bit of an orange. You can just, I don't know if you can see it online or on camera, but see the color of it. It's put that down on the paper, and you can see where you've gotten, and you can be sure to get to all your corners and things that way. I'm really bad about not getting glue stick all the way to the corners, so I try to make sure I get those corners, because that's where it will tend to come up on you, is at the corners. So we're going to put this about right here. And again, I'm just guessing. And I just use my fingers to press it down in there. Just a lot easier for me. Sometimes if my hands are tired, I'll get my ruler and press it down with my ruler. Just like you'd use a bone folder. And with it being the metal heavy duty, works just fine for that. And then I just trim it out with scissors. If you kind of angle your scissors up against the edge, you can cut right to the edge without any problem. Hope I'm check. Yeah, I'm in camera so you can see. Just want to make sure I didn't go off camera here. I tend to pull things closer to me, and then it makes me sometimes be a little off camera, so trying to be better about that for you. Hope everybody's having a wonderful day and getting in your craft room or just simply playing with paper. So now we have this piece, and that could be used as a tag in a journal. So I'm not going to put anything on the back. I'm just going to lay it over to the side and let it dry. Cap up my glue stick. And we're going to try out some liquid glues now. Get me another piece of cardstock here to cover. And I kind of want to use these flowers on the side of this and just kind of put them on the side of my card here. So I think that's what I'm going to do on this one. And I'm going to use this Titebond Thick and Quick Multi-Surface Glue. I got this to use. I think I'm tightening it, not untightening it. I always get these messed up when I go to open them. But this is just an Elmer's glue cap that more or less fit on the bottle. And it was very, 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 very thick. So I added water to it to get it to a consistency so it will come out. It is squeezable, but sometimes you have to squeeze a little hard on it, and you gotta watch that it doesn't plug up here. But once you get it flowing, you can squeeze it out. I'm having to put a little bit of pressure on it, but not a lot. So it is an option, but I would highly recommend that you water it down a little until you get a consistency that you like. Remember, watering it down is going to get your papers wetter, so you don't want to get too much water. You don't want it to just run out all over the place where you really won't have a good adhesive. You want it, your stuff to stick to it. But when you're using your glue bottle like this, you can kind of use the nozzle to spread it a bit. Okay, let's see where that needs to go here. See if I can guesstimate and get it right. Let's try right there. Okay. All right, let me close this glue back up. So this would be an option for someone. Any of the white glues would work because you could water them to the consistency that you need. But again, it's going to be a wet glue. So if you don't like the little wrinkling of the paper, then I would not use that glue. Sometimes I like to see the paper, see the wrinkling of the paper, because I think that just kind of adds to the junk journal part of it. And I don't like to throw glues away, so I definitely will continue to use that to use it up. I'm not sure how well over time it would last, but it is a no-run precision multi-surface glue, so it will run if you get too much water. What I do when I add either silicone or water to my glues, I add it to them, get it all shook up, or have someone shake it all up for me, and then I'll let it sit overnight at least so that the glues can kind of meld together. or the glue in the water. It's really not glues, it would be glue and water. All right, so now we have this that can be used as a journal card. Let's see what that looks like when it's completely dry later on. Lay that off to the side, get rid of my trash here. A lot of people use Beacon 3-in-1 or Fabrifix. Let me show you what my dilemma is with this glue. Get a piece of paper here ready to roll. I'm just going to use my scissors and rough cut it instead of trying to tear it at the moment. So I'm going to roughly cut something that'll at least cover this card that I have here. Okay. Now this should work well on this card. Yep, it sure will. So I'm going to put it on the side with the lines. Now if I were going to use this glue, first thing is getting the lid off. It's not easy. So, the first dilemma is getting the lid off. Secondly is I know the lid's on it, but I still should be able to squeeze this glue, and there is absolutely no squeeze to these bottles at all. Very, very, very difficult to squeeze. So my solution has been to get this silicone glue, Collall adhesive. It is my absolute favorite liquid glue out there, and I have tried a multitude of white glues, clear glues, liquid glues of all different kinds. I've even tried rubber cement, different pastes, but this is my all-time favorite. It acts just like the Fabrifix and 3-in-1, with one exception. It doesn't dry as quickly. It will dry pretty quick, but it gives you a little bit of wiggle room. So if you need to slide something around or move it or pull it back up when you put it down, you're able to do that with this glue. Squeezability wise, however, it's a tightly squeezing bottle as well. So what I have done to counteract that is I have purchased a bottle of just plain old school glue, white glue. I took it out of this bottle, put it in another container, and made some homemade Mod Podge with it. Washed the bottle out and dried it completely, and then I put my Collall glue in this bottle so I can use it to glue things down. And let me get it open here. A little tricky for me to open, but most days I can get it fine. This is going to be, of course, I'm filming, so it's going to look much more difficult than it normally is. There we go. I've got it open now, and it's flowing. Always check to make sure it's flowing because I can get glue dried on the top of it, and that makes it hard to come out when there's dry glue on top, so I pick that off. And then I just put it in my hand like this. I can squeeze it between my thumb and fingers. And usually once I get it started, I'm not even squeezing and the glue's coming out. See how easy? And if I squeeze just a little, I can control that. And I can go a little bit faster. And I just cover the whole thing, making sure I'm getting my edges and my corners good. And cover the whole thing. And if for some reason I don't get it in the exact spot I did in there, so I have a little bit of room and I can just push it into where I need it to go. And when you first press it down, you got to be a little careful initially. Give it a chance to grab before you start pressing it down too much, because you can slide your paper right out of there if you don't. So now we have this one. And I'm just going to cut it out. I just love this glue. I mean, my dilemma with getting it is that it's not readily available in the United States, and I have to order it through Etsy, but I don't mind ordering it and paying the price on Etsy. I try to get it locally or from a seller, and sometimes I can get it in other places, but most of the time I have to go through Etsy to get it. But I usually order a couple bottles when I do that. It saves me on shipping, and that way I always have some glue on hand. But it will be my go-to favorite glue as long as it will be available to me. The only way I could get the same thing would be to add acetone to the 3-in-1 beacon or to Fabrifix until it's at a consistency that I can use it. Now, if you'll note, I did spread that glue on here. It did not warp this paper like the Titebond did. This is the Titebond here. You can see the little warps in the paper. This one did not do that. Of course, the glue stick doesn't give you warps anyway. So those are the tools that I use, you all. If you have any questions about tools or anything, if you'd like to see a video of me doing a certain process on here, I'd be more than willing to have you comment, and I'll see what I can do for you. And I would very much appreciate if you would please like, share, and subscribe. The likes really help the algorithm for my video, so if you liked it, please check mark that. You can also check the notifications so you'll get notified of my next video. So if you are sticking around and watching the videos, I greatly appreciate for you to do that like, share, and subscribing so that my videos can get boosted up and I can end up with more subscribers and bring you more content. I couldn't have my channel without my subscribers and my content. So greatly appreciate each and every one of you. I'll see you in my next video. Bye-bye for now. Hey, Miss Sharon. Hey, Sharon.